figured I'd start off and not one for opening statements very often, but felt like today, obviously with Greg's passing, a lot of emotion over the weekend, and just for the team, for me personally, and I know a lot of our guys. Obviously, our thoughts and prayers are with the Sharp family, and just knowing that we're better off for having known Greg and having a chance to be around Greg for many, many years, and just his impact that he had on all of us, I think, is something pretty unique and pretty special. So we didn't just lose somebody that was there and called our games. I mean, he was part of our family and part of our team, and I know our players felt the same way. So thinking about Amy and the girls and the rest of the Sharp family right now, and I know our guys want to dedicate the rest of our season to Greg, much like we did last year when we found out the news. So, yeah.
Even though it was obviously pretty heavy over the weekend.
Yeah, I think so. I think you kind of, those things happen. You go one way or the other with it, and our guys were determined to honor Greg, and we talked about competing in a way that would make him proud, and he was proud of us all the time. But I think it was certainly gave a little extra juice. Not that you need much on national television against a team like Vanderbilt, but I think particularly that day, you could really feel that presence there.
Tangible you guys are going to do, maybe wear the Greg Sharp patches or anything else?
I think we'll look definitely. We ordered some more patches so everybody could have them on their hats. Maybe something in the ballpark. I think there'll be maybe another couple of opportunities at home to pay tribute to him. So,
how's Tucker Timmerman doing? And is he available this weekend? What's his situation?
No, so he's gonna need surgery. Some pretty bad stuff going on there, breaks, and he's going to have to go in, and they're going to do some extensive stuff, and they can't really do anything until the swelling goes down. So saw him today. He's in good spirits. He can see out of his eye now, which is a major improvement from where he was, but we'll be without him for an extended period of time.
You expect at some point this season?
Yeah, he'll be back. He'll be back. But you never really know what the recovery is going to look like because it does involve the eye and, some of that stuff too. So the way I understand, he could have some vision issues just initially after the surgery, but he should be fine. And certainly it's something that he can kind of keep his arm moving a little bit, to stay in shape somewhat that way. But anything that puts him at risk right now, he's not going to be able to do anything. So, hopefully we can get him into surgery next week. That's the plan, is the end of next week. But if the swelling subsides substantially before then maybe we can get him in earlier and then obviously start the recovery earlier. Yeah.
Do you experience anything like that as a coach? I mean, obviously Shane had his jaw broken, but
I can't recall. It was an odd because the result looked like a line drive. And seeing the replay, obviously it was 106 off the bat, but it was straight into the ground, and I think it just had that weird top spin on it. I don't know that I've seen one like that did that much damage as a coach. Yeah, it was a rough deal for Tuck.
You guys have a 3-game series, obviously, this weekend.
Right.
Do you go Walsh Brockett? Is it how do you kind of determine that, especially when they both had good opening starts?
Yeah, we were kind of talking about that in the office today. They both are worthy of a start. So yeah, there's some decision to be made there. Obviously, one of those guys would slide to the pen, and as we start playing midweeks, you're going to need 4 starters. So I think that gives you some stability there. Hopefully, is kind of what we're searching for on those Tuesday games where you can. I know there's some games that we have Tuesday, Wednesday, but where you can just know who's starting and you're not kind of just trying a bunch of different guys out. So I think either way we go, I mean, you're talking about a guy who had a 7-inning shutout and the other guy had 6 innings, 1 run and pitched great. Brockett was awesome. So yeah, we'll kind of decide here probably in the next 24 hours.
Trainer was out. I guess when you guys went and took Rocket out, was it like a blister or something, or what was?
Yeah, he just kind of felt just a little zing. I mean, nothing like bad. It wasn't a blister. It was just kind of sometimes you can kind of on the end of your fingers just kind of get some numbness. Like I said, hopefully nothing serious. I don't think it is. Our trainer doesn't seem to think so either. He hasn't thrown a pin yet though. So, we'll see how he's at today at practice.
Another, I guess, kind of minor thing, but you guys swapped Sirianni and Harvell
Yeah.
on the bases. What was kind of the thought process, and what are you guys hoping to get?
Yeah, I think just part of it is that Harv is a recruiting coordinator, so there could be times, there was a lot of times this fall where he was on the road recruiting, and it's kind of hard to have your third base coach and offensive coordinator gone, so I thought it was kind of a natural fit. Mike's done it before. Harv just wants to do what it takes to help the team win. So I just think it was and Mike was coaching the hitters last year, I mean, primarily, and then Harv was running the offense. So I just kind of wanted to marry those two things together. Thought it would be from the recruiting side of it, and then also just from the side of, you're hitting an offensive coordinator, just being the same person, I think is, in my experience, I guess that's probably easier to come by that way. So, yeah, that's kind of the thought process behind it.
Does that show up on game days at all? I mean, just in terms of who's on third, maybe someone's more aggressive sending a guy in. Is there anything like that?
I think we're all on the same page with kind of how we're going to do it. I mean, obviously Siri last year came in and helped out with the running game and, some of that stuff. And, Harv can do the same over at first base. I mean, you got two guys that kind of see the game through the same lens and just on different sides of the field now. So not that, honestly, like, for us, I know it's been very consistent, but it's not always that way everywhere where a lot of times the head coach will go out on occasion and go coach third, or people switch things up from time to time. So not a big change. And we are wearing the wristbands now too. So on offense, so it's just kind of more of a simplified deal. So it's not really that big of a change.
How do you feel like you guys did lineup wise through the whole weekend, I guess?
Yeah. Games 2 and 3, I was very happy. Games 1 and 4, not so much. I thought there was some empty at-bats in there at times. Obviously, the last game, we were 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position. That was the difference in that one. A little choppy, the two games, like I said, the 2 and 3, we were noticeably more aggressive early. Ironically, you get on base more with walks and hit by pitches when you are that way. So I think the first game kind of chalk it up to a little bit of jitters. First game out, maybe, like I said, the Vandy game and then the game against San Diego State. Thought we did a really nice job. So we were pretty consistent with who we played over the course of the weekend. Again, we're going to find at-bats for Robbie Bolin and Rhett Stokes, two guys that started on opening day. From time to time, right, like I write the lineup and, you win a game before, you kind of tend to stick with the guys that won. So that's part of it too. But we'll see some different combinations, over probably the course of the weekend because we're still not – obviously it's 4 games, but we weren't where we wanted to be offensively.
I talked about how he built confidence after settling in, after you say he got punched in the mouth against Vandy. How do you evaluate his performance, and what does he need to do going forward to establish himself in those later innings that he had?
Yeah, like I just kind of we talked about it in the press conference before the season. Just his maturity showed up in this game. I think his ability to bounce back after the tough start. I mean, we put up a 3 spot, and then just like that, they're right back in the game. Now, he had to make a big pitch to get off the field to keep it at 2. And you could just kind of see his confidence start to grow. And we, they were aggressive on the fastball early, and he was able to mix his pitch as well. I mean, you start to see him becoming more of a pitcher, right? Instead of a guy that's just throwing the ball hard and, throwing it down the middle. He's starting to, mix on the right and right changeup. He threw 2 different breaking balls. He was able to land the breaking ball for a strike. Just kind of got him off balance because they were really, really on the heater first. And, yeah, it was just an amazing job by him. somebody who's kind of still finding his way as a Division I starting pitcher. He's going to take a lot of confidence from how he handled that outing.
And then what do you want to see from Mason bouncing back this next weekend?
Yeah, just finish your innings. I mean, I think that's kind of the story there is he just finished the innings. I mean, his stuff was great. Thought he was very, very sharp. Then he, had a 30-plus pitch inning. That's very uncharacteristic for him, and it kind of put us in a bad spot for the rest of that game. Chris still comes in not quite ready with the bases loaded, and his outing's a little choppy because of it. And then we have to bring Clevenger in with the bases loaded after that. So, Mason is going to bounce back. I mean, he's got the maturity, the veteran. He's been there and done it, and I thought stuff was awesome. I mean, he's touching 95 in the first inning. What he struck out 8 of the first 11 guys he faced. Just got to finish the innings. I mean, that's the takeaway there, and he knows that.
I feel like your bullpen depth was kind of what you thought it was going into the season.
Yeah, I think we don't win that game against Vandy, without those guys. And the first game got away from us a little bit, so we didn't use multiple leverage guys in that game. We knew we had kind of the full bullpen stocked, for the Vandy game. And Jalen wasn't very sharp, but he's going to be really good for us. And you could kind of see that veteran status there because even though he wasn't very sharp, he still made his pitches, when he had to, because he's been in those spots before. Obviously, Tuck was rolling pretty good. And then Broderick, came in and made it look pretty easy there in the ninth. So there was definitely some depth. Jossa, good to get him out there. And Clark only threw to one hitter, but was obviously very sharp in a big situation. So, yeah, a lot of bright spots there. Crazy in a 4-game series, still a lot of guys didn't pitch at all. We got some talented freshmen. We got some guys that we're going to count on, especially now with Tuck being out for a little bit, that we're going to be excited to see. And I think it showed up pretty well.
What are the challenges with Louisiana, and then I guess for you guys as coaches too, to line up against Matt Deggs? I know a lot of you guys have history with him.
Yeah, Coach Deggs, I have a tremendous amount of respect for him. Just as a baseball man, I've learned a lot from him. Basically, very, very, very influential on my offensive career. Just kind of getting started as a hitting coach and coaching third base, and my first experience outside of kind of Nebraska, right, was with him at Texas A&M when I was the volunteer coach. And so took a lot of stuff that I learned in those 2 years from him. Obviously a great family guy too, and he's done a great job with that program. But yeah, they're going to be they're used to winning. They have a Friday night guy that's an ace and an All-American. A lot of team speed. Going to have to defend the bunt game. They're going to definitely try to put pressure on you defensively. So just, how we attack them is going to be the same. We always go out there, get ahead with strike one, get the leadoff hitter, which we did a pretty good job of, and then just finish your innings when you got a chance. And so it's going to be a big challenge. Going to be chilly down there. The way I understand it, that field, the way it sets up, the wind blows out. It's backwards, so the wind blows out when it's a north wind. I think that's what we're going to have. So cold, relatively speaking, I suppose.
They're likely Friday night guy too. I mean, he's pretty elite arm. What do you expect to see from him?
A lot of fastballs, really good fastball, left-handed and tough to hit. I mean, doesn't give up much. We got to be on attack and be disciplined in the zone. And when we get our pitch, don't miss it. So it's going to be a very big challenge.
For fans who weren't in attendance on Saturday against Vanderbilt, what was the emotion like of the crowd there and just the team feeding off of that, given a really emotional day?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was 3,000 was the announced attendance. It was loud. Obviously, 3,000 means that 2,800 were Nebraska fans, pretty much, at least. So yeah, it was an amazing atmosphere. Just it felt felt like a regional game. Just knowing that the MLB Network is there and that facility is amazing. And it was an odd first game for us too because the scoreboard wasn't working and there was just kind of an odd day, that opening day. So just to have the play under the lights on MLB Network with a big crowd and, so it was an amazing atmosphere. And like I said, it was certainly uplifting for our guys.
Any more questions?